Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. But the election is now just 4 days away, and what better time to talk about the state of Pennsylvania, which could be one of the most important states in this election. So, this is the 2016 election in the state of Pennsylvania. Donald Trump won it by around 45,000 votes, winning by 0.7% points. And where did he improve? Well, we look at the areas that trended. We see these rural areas vastly trended towards the right, with the exception of a couple counties. But the rural areas voted for Donald Trump in droves, and they turn out at high rates as well. But then we compare it to 2012. Well, you look, for example, a lot of these counties were light colored for the Republicans. Barack Obama and Joe Biden did well in these areas, in these rural areas, and then Donald Trump capitalized on that and did a lot better in these rural areas. But Hillary Clinton did do better in some areas. She did better in the Philadelphia suburbs. She did better in the Pittsburgh suburbs, and those are areas with a lot of people. So if we do compare this to 2012 and we look at the shift from 2008, well, we see that even at that time a lot of this Philadelphia area trended to the left, and even Allegheny County, which is Pittsburgh, if you account for the fact that Barack Obama won the state by a lot less, you would see that this county also trended towards the Democrats. But it is showing that there is a pretty big rural shift from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. But the question is, how much room does Donald Trump really have to gain at this point? Because you see in a lot of these counties, he's cracking, 70% of the vote in most of these counties. He's even doing better in some of these other counties. So how much room is there really for him to gain? Well, because you look at the areas that trended towards the Democrats, these are counties that they're only getting, 50% of the vote in, or maybe they didn't even win the counties, but they're trending blue. And then you look at how many people are in these counties. There's a lot more people in these counties too. However, if you compare this to a state like Michigan, for example, you see there's a lot more light red in these rural areas. There's a lot more room for Donald Trump to gain in rural areas in Michigan. Same thing in Wisconsin. You see a lot of light red areas, especially in this area where Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District is, where Ron Kind's district is. But you look at this map and you see, well, where is Donald Trump going to gain? And that's really the big question. And that is why I do think that Joe Biden actually has the best chances of winning the state of Pennsylvania. So we look at the state of the race right now. Well, where is Donald Trump going to have to win in the state of Pennsylvania? Disregarding polls, where is he going to have to do well to be able to win? Well, he's going to have to do just as well in the rural areas. If he loses ground in the rural areas, there's virtually no way he can win. So if he can hold the same margins that he got in the rural areas as 2016, maybe improve in areas like Erie, and well, the main thing he's got to do after keeping those rural areas is limiting the damage in the suburbs. If he loses, Chester County by more than, 12, 13, 14, 15 percentage points, that's going to be a big problem. Same thing with Bucks County. Both of these counties are counties that trended towards the Democrats in 2016. Expect Joe Biden to also do better in Lucerne County. This is a big county that trended towards the Republicans in 2016. You see Lucerne County here was won by Barack Obama by 5. It was won by Donald Trump by almost 20. Expect Joe Biden to do better here because this is the Scranton area, and polls have shown that he's been doing better here. He could also do better in areas like Lackawanna County, areas like Monroe County. Lackawanna is, I think that's the actual county he was born in, but it's right next to Lucerne County, and polls have been showing him doing well. So we compare that to 2012. Donald Trump's map is going to be a lot different from what Obama's winning map would be, obviously, and it would even be different from what Romney's map would be, because Romney did better in the suburbs, and he did worse in the rural areas. Donald Trump does better in the rural areas, worse in the suburbs. But I do want to talk about some other reasons why it's not looking too good for Donald Trump. Now, this video is titled, can Donald Trump still win Pennsylvania? Of course he can still win Pennsylvania. There's a decent chance he could still win Pennsylvania. I'd give him, maybe a 25% chance, something like that. That's a rough estimate. But one reason, I did talk about this in an old video, but there is another extra poll to talk about now. And that is the Congressional District polling. Now, a lot of the Congressional District polling that we get is internal. As you can see here, the asterisk next to the polls means it's an internal poll for that campaign. So it will overestimate the candidate that they are doing the poll for, that's commissioned them to do the poll. But it is still useful to talk about. For example, if we talk about this poll from Pennsylvania's 7th Congressional District, this is a district that with the current boundaries was won by Hillary Clinton by just 1.1 percentage points. This is actually actually a public poll that was done, and this poll shows that Joe Biden is winning the district 56 to 37. That means he would be winning it by 19 percentage points, which would be an 18-point improvement over Hillary Clinton. And we look, well, where is this district? Well, this district is the 7th Congressional District, and this district is in an area where Hillary Clinton struggled. And if we do look at the map of Pennsylvania's 7th Congressional District, which I would rate as likely to safe at this point, we do see that it is in this area where Joe Biden struggled, Pennsylvania's 7th District along the New Jersey border. We look at the map of the 2016 election results, we do see this is an area that Donald Trump did well in, and these areas actually trended a little bit towards the Democrats, but it is an area that Donald Trump did well in, considering the fact that he only lost it by 1 percentage point when Obama would have won this district with his current boundaries. But the fact that Joe Biden is leading that district is also very useful to him. The next poll that I do want to talk about is Terrence. Not every, if you're going to ask why I'm cherry picking, not every poll polls the presidential race, but if we do look at Pennsylvania's 10th Congressional District, this is a Republican internal poll. Terrence Group is a Republican internal poll from Pennsylvania's 10th Congressional District, and they do show from the presidential race that Biden is leading this district by 49 to 45 percentage points. That would be a 4-point lead. We look at Pennsylvania's 10th Congressional District in the 2016 election. This district was won by Donald Trump by 9 percentage points, so that would be a 13-point swing, and this is in the Harrisburg area, which is in the Cumberland County area, the Dauphin County, Lancaster, York County, this kind of area. This is where the district is. So this is an area that, for the most part, trended towards the Republicans, a little bit trended towards the Democrats, but overall, that is another area where I expect Joe Biden to improve in. The next one is Pennsylvania's 8th Congressional District. Coefficient, I believe, is the poll. So I believe they are a Republican internal poll. I'm not exactly sure on. Yes, they are a Republican internal poll. They have Joe Biden winning this district, Pennsylvania's 8th Congressional District, by 2 percentage points. This is a district that was won by Donald Trump by 9%, by 10 percentage points, actually. So that would be another 12-point shift. We look at where the 8th Congressional District is. It is in that Scranton area. I said that Joe Biden will do better in that Scranton area. It's looking like he will do a lot better in that Scranton area, because this is an area that trended a lot towards the Republicans and Donald Trump. Donald Trump's going to need that area to win, and he's not doing very well there right now. And then finally, the final poll I do want to look at is from Pennsylvania's 1st Congressional District. And this is a Democratic internal poll from PPP from the 1st Congressional District for Christina Finella versus Brian Fitzpatrick, the Republican incumbent. And we do look at these polls results, and the district does show that Joe Biden's winning by 13 percentage points. And take it with a grain of salt, because, it is an internal poll, but say it's 8 percentage points, 10 percentage points. We look at 2018, we can see here that this is 2016, we can see that in 2016, this is a district that was only won by Clinton by 2. So that, that's a 10-point shift towards the Democrats, and that's in this Bucks County area, an area that trended towards the Democrats in 2016. So we've highlighted areas that Joe Biden will do better in. He'll do better in the Philadelphia suburbs. He'll do better in the Scranton area. He'll do better in the Harrisburg area, and expect him to do better in areas like Pennsylvania's 17th Congressional District, where you have the the Pittsburgh city and the Pittsburgh suburbs that actually trended blue in 2016. So at the Congressional District polling, Joe Biden is doing very well. We look at the statewide polling, it's also doing very well for Joe Biden. He's ahead by 3.6 percentage points right now, even with a Republican affiliated poll, which has Trump +2, and Trafalgar Group, which has it as a tie. And if you want to look at Trafalgar, I won't, I'll spare you the details of it, but the Trafalgar poll weights by congressional district, which means, they have 1,076 people polled. You're going to get around 50 people for a congressional district. You're not going to get a real sample from those congressional districts, and so they have really weird numbers to the congressional districts. I wouldn't trust Trafalgar. I wouldn't count on them getting it right again. I do think they will underestimate the Democrats, but even if you apply the same polling errors as 2016, Joe Biden's currently leading by 3.6 percentage points. We go back to 2016, we can see here that if we do look at the polls from 2016, Clinton was winning by 1.9 percentage points. So that's a 2.6% difference between the RCP average and the final results. And we had Trafalgar and a Republican internal then, and Clinton was only up 2. We have Trafalgar and a Republican internal now, and Joe Biden is up 3.6. So if you apply those same polling errors of 2.6%, Joe Biden would win the state by 1%, and I think he'll win it by more than 1%, to be honest. And if we do look at the way the vote is going to come in on election night, it's very interesting. interesting because this is an article from 538 talking about how the original ballots that come in will probably be more Republican. If we look at this here, it says, because the state can't begin processing mail-in ballots until 7 a.m. on election day, it could be a while before we get full results in Pennsylvania. State officials have said that it could take until Friday to finish counting most ballots. And between Tuesday and Friday, there could be a pretty big shift in terms of which party's favored to in the vote tally, given that Biden supporters are far more likely to vote early or absentee than Trump supporters, who are far more likely to vote on election day. So, if we do want to look at the current result in who has mailed-in ballots right now, we can see that right now in the state of Pennsylvania, 3 million ballots have been requested, 3.05 million ballots have been requested, 2.1 million have been returned. Now, this is public data. 68% of them are Democrat, 22% of them are Republican, 10% are independent, which slightly breaks towards the Democrats. But we do see here that Democrats are winning by 46 percentage points in the state of Pennsylvania in terms of the mail-in ballots, and there's been 2.1 million. So that's going to be a huge number. We look at the 538 article talking about how in the primary, you can see in the primary, the Democratic votes that were cast on election night were far behind the Republican votes that were counted on election night. But then you look at what was counted after election, and this was with less mail-in ballots than what we have this time. And sure, Pennsylvania's invested, they've, improved the infrastructure of the system. It's going to be hard for them to process these ballots very quickly, especially given, some counties, for example, have said they're not even going to start processing mail-in ballots until the day after the election. So it's going to create a lot of issues. And this is the 538 model for what they say. They say that, earlier on in the night, Donald Trump could be leading by like 16 percentage points, and then he ends up losing by 5. I don't think that the shift would be that much. I think it would probably be more around Biden, Trump winning by 5, Biden winning by 2, because I do think that they will be able to count the mail-in ballots fast enough. They talks about here in the article how the Secretary of State, I believe, or somebody associated with the elections, it says, yes, Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar has said she will call on county elections officials to regularly report the progress in counting mail-in ballots instead of reporting them all at once to avoid a huge swing in the vote that might cause confusion. And she said she'd also like the state to share how many ballots are left to count, where they are in the counting process, and the party affiliation of the voters who cast those remaining votes. So, Pennsylvania is going to be a state that is going to be very interesting on election night. I think on election night itself, Donald Trump will be winning Pennsylvania very, very narrowly, and then Joe Biden will slightly push ahead, later into the night, earlier into the morning, because I do think he'll be able to win Pennsylvania by around 3 percentage points, just given on the statewide polling, the Congressional District polling, the trends of the state, just the nature of the state itself. I think Joe Biden is in a very good position in this state. I think he has around a 75 to 80% chance of winning the state, and it will be crucial for his opportunity of getting elected president of the United States. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.